Hey, welcome to the Video Guys Live show. Today's show is a real fun show. We're going to have Glen, our product specialist, our workflow specialist, coming in from Texas. And today's show is all about new live production packs for House of Worship, sports, and broadcast, now available from Grass Valley. You guys may have heard of Grass Valley, you may not have. Grass Valley is really known in broadcast circles, and what they're doing is bringing their products downstream into the high-end church, medium to high-end church, and D2, D3, big high school, small college sports world. We got a really exciting thing to talk to you about those bundles. But before we get to that, today's pre-show, I wanted to talk to you about something that I just did. I just traveled. Believe it or not, guys, I just got back from Jamaica, Negril, Jamaica. You might notice I got a little bit of tan here. I'm in a little summery, feeling kind of relaxed. It was really fantastic. It was so great to feel that I'm back to normal. You know, I started feeling back to normal when I was going to Islander games and being in the crowd with the Islander games and seeing how that went. And I've been vaccinated, so I feel a lot safer about this whole thing. And I urge those of you who feel you're at risk to get vaccinated as well too. But the biggest thing about it was so great to be back to normal. Jamaica, it was kind of different, you know, traveling down to Jamaica. Customs had an extra layer of safety involved as far as making sure that I had tested negative before I went there and got there. But I really had a great time on vacation. It was so wonderful to be able to be with people, reunite with friends, see the staff over at the place I stayed at called Couple to Grill. I had a really fantastic trip, and I just think it's a really great thing, and I hope everyone will start traveling and doing more stuff as the world opens up, because, you know, as we get vaccinated, as we get safer, let's get back to normal, let's start doing things and living our lives again. And travel was something I really missed, and I'm so glad I got to do it. So it was a great thing. Love Jamaica, love the grill, and I had a great time. So let's get back to video and what we're going to talk about. Today's show, we have a special guest on. That's Glen, coming in from Texas, our workflow specialist. Why don't we bring Glen in now? Now, Glen, I know you haven't really gotten to go on many vacations or anything, but I do understand that you're going to start doing some traveling and visiting some dealers and doing some trade shows and stuff like that. So talk to us about how you're feeling about travel in the world as it opens and comes back a little bit.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I mean, I spent my life traveling, so not traveling has been kind of rough. I think, the one thing I learned is I came down with non-infectious strep over the weekend. Maybe that's because I spent a year like in confinement, so I think I'm used to getting prepared to get a whole bunch of other weird things. But I've got going to be doing some stuff, heading down to Texas Association of Broadcasters at the beginning of next month. And then I'm going to be up in the New York office and, a few other places. So looking forward to it, to get back to business as normal, meet and greet people. I've actually done a couple of customer visits. I think the weirdest thing is just not knowing what to expect when you walk into a place. Masks on, masks off, social distancing, crowded. So that's kind of the weird thing, is just never knowing what the environment's going to be like. You're always walking into an uncomfortable situation.
I'm always hoping that I don't have to wear a mask, that I can chill out, but I'm prepared with my mask when I have to wear it, because you got to be good to others. It's helping us all get through this, but I am so happy to be getting closer and closer to normal and traveling. And, when we had to travel with the mask, you put the mask on, but it was so great to be at the resort and not have to wear the mask. And I know it's kind of odd, because sometimes you'll visit a customer and they'll have rules that say you have to wear a mask, you have to go through this whole process, and other customers who you think would be crazier about that, it's like, no, come on in, it's all cool here. Every company and every individual seems to have their own way they set their threshold for risk at this point in the chapter of this whole pandemic. Oh, Glen, you still there?
I'm still there, yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm going to say let's roll the bump, let's get to the show. But before we do, I'm going to owe Oliver $1, because I'm going to remember to do what I'm supposed to do. So guys, welcome to Video Guys Live. Today's show, all about Grass Valley's new live production packs for House of Worship, sports, and broadcasters. Grass Valley bringing their products from broadcast down to affordable levels. And we're really excited to tell you all about that. So we'll be right back with the show. Video Guys Live. For a little bit, but we got him. Hey, and we're back. All right, today I have a special guest, Glen Seaman, a workflow specialist, is going to be on the show with us. He's kind of setting some stuff up there, back there. But Glen, today's show is so exciting because, as someone who's been in the technology business as longer than me, one of the coolest things is seeing a technology that was way up here for broadcasters and, corporations and enterprise and, movie studios coming down where it becomes more affordable, where people who, we talk to on Video Guys can actually afford to buy this product. Now, these products are still the higher end of what we sell into, but it's so exciting that a broadcast label, a broadcast name like Grass Valley is coming down into this marketplace, isn't it?
No, I think that's the most exciting thing. I mean, we've been talking to these folks for a while. We've been trying to get into this place and get their products down here. And they're not coming down with crippled products. They're not coming down with cheap products. They're coming down with really great, successful products. These products have been around in lots of different ways. They've been successful in Europe, but they're coming down with great products and doing it in a way that's making it more affordable, making it more accessible. I think that's one of the things I'm going to show here is the accessibility of these products. And they're just bringing all, these guys, you're going to talk about it later, Super Bowl, Academy Award, all these different awards, any major event, large houses of worship, Grass Valley products are in there and drive broadcast news, drive sports, drive all kinds of entertainment. And, they've been around a very long time.
And what's really crazy about what's happening is the switcher we're going to talk about is the coolest switcher. And it's a good old-fashioned hardware switcher, but it's got a software component to it called the PACE software, which is an automation software. But even more importantly, in our discussions with Grass Valley, they're transitioning their whole company towards a cloud-based media model of media delivery that, we're just scratching the surface on here. But the stuff that they're going to be doing, I can see in a few years being, a dominant player up and down in the house of worship, education, corporate video space. The new management that's in there really gets it, and they're trying to move their company downstream really fast.
Yeah. No, and that's been the big thing. I mean, 2000, we had to do a lot of remote stuff, and people realized that technology wasn't there. It got better, but the other thing that happened is that companies that were trying to push folks into this, both whether it be the corporate level or customer level that were trying to push folks to move in this direction, suddenly got a whole emphasis of people realizing, wow, this is what we need. This is going to be the norm. People are going to want this, and people are not going to want to go back. So yeah, definitely going to be a lot changing in that. And I think Grass is, really putting themselves in a great situation for their customers to take advantage of the things they want to do in the cloud.
Yeah, those who watch the show know I've been saying it. In 2020, we got things done. We figured stuff out. We made streaming happening. Now in 2021, we're making it look better, work better, easier to do, and no better example of that is what's going on with Grass Valley. Now, one of the things about Grass Valley is they are a true broadcast, horizontally integrated company. So they make the switchers, they make the monitor, the multi-displays, they make the splitters, they make the multi-viewers, but they also make cameras. And I think that's the big part of what's so exciting to me about these kits, because we're actually bringing you not only this broadcast level equipment, but broadcast level cameras to go along with it.
Oh, I didn't know if we were going to a slide or not. So yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, they've got these kits are designed around studio cameras, but the big news really is that Grass Valley recently made a commitment to the PTZ space. So they have come out with their first PTZ camera. This is a entry-level camera for them. They're already working on next generation silicone, things like that. But this one's really quite an impressive camera. I've got 3 of them behind me. I've been playing with them. I really like them. It is a 4K camera, so it's 4K out the HDMI. It's 4K NDI, so it's an NDI HX camera. The thing I like about them, and what Grass really did is they went out and they tested a whole bunch of cameras. They looked at different cameras and did a lot of tests on them. And the first thing they did is they found cameras that could be matched to their higher end studio cameras. So these cameras will work and look very good next to any of their other cameras. They then tested motion. These things have very quick, fast motion. They are quiet. They are whisper quiet. A couple things I like about them. If we actually roll the video I've got, I'll talk a little bit about some of the things that are cool about these. So this is a little test I did yesterday. So what you've got is you've got the PTZ controller. And what you're really looking at is I've got in the upper left-hand corner is the NDI feed coming out of this camera. The lower left-hand corner is an RTMP stream. And then I've got the control interface. So the cool thing with this is, unlike a lot of other cameras in this space, I have NDI, HDSDI, HDMI, and RTMP streams all at the same time, and USB as well. So all of my connections, all my peripherals are alive all at the same time. So that's a really powerful camera. Most cameras, when you go to NDI, you lose that RTMP stream. So, I've been playing with these cameras. You can go to the next slide. I've tested these cameras with the bird dog controller. I have one sitting on my desk. It works with the bird dog controller. I've tested it with the PTZ optics controller and the Super Joy, which is the next slide. I really like it with the Super Joy because, oops, where are we here with slides here, guys?
Yeah. He's going to come back to the wide shot on us. Here we go. We're good.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm going to
Gary's
pick up
gonna
the
go
Super
there.
Joy while we have it. We have one right here. This is PTZ Optics, brand new, $900 controller. It's a fantastic controller. It really has a nice professional feel to it. But what we're really excited about it, Glenn, and I'm going to steal your thunder about it a little bit, is talk about why that's so significant, the jack pack on the back.
Yeah, so on the back of this controller is an HDMI output. What that allows you to do is if you've got an RTMP stream coming from a camera, when you switch to controlling that camera through the controller, it switches the HDMI output to that stream. So the cool thing with this is now if you've got this controller and these cameras, if you're just using these cameras on their own, you switch to that controller and you've got a studio monitor there with the RTMP stream presenting it to you right in front of you. So you can actually see what you're controlling. You don't need studio monitor. You don't need anything else. So it's just a very slick thing. So I could be using this with NDI. I can be using it with HDMI, HDSDI, and still get that RTMP stream to see what I'm doing, which is just a neat little trick between the controller and this camera.
And
again,
Glenn, I can use it with a large HDMI screen if I have one, like a regular TV you can get at Best Buy.
Yep.
I get a studio monitor, or I could be using it with something like, an Atomos monitor. If I want something really small, really bright, maybe I'm in a weird license. So I think that's so cool. And once again, to get back to this, you don't need one of these controllers because you can control the PTZ cameras from the Grass Valley software, as we'll talk about a little later. But this is just another added level of control that I think, if you're going to do a house of worship with 3 PTZ cameras that are 35X and no camera people, you want to make sure that operator has kind of joystick level control on his own. And really, what I like about that is I have my operator for my cameras separate from the guy who's running the mixer, because it's not that you can't do both, but it can be a little complicated. Now, we're going to get into the pace automation. We're going to show you how you can actually have everything working together. But sometimes your shows aren't as formulas. Sometimes you got to have an operator there. So let's cut to the next thing and let's go to the House of Worship Productivity Pack. Now, this is a video that...
Before we get there, though, yeah. I mean, the main thing I'm trying to point out is, we've got these cameras as the packs, but these cameras are also available separately. And, these are great cameras. And there may be people that want to put these cameras together with any other solution that they may have. So having these external controllers, having these other things, make it easier. When you get into the packs, you'll see you get the cameras included, you get everything. But for folks that are looking for, hey, I just think this is a great camera, I want that 4K capability, I want these things, these controllers and other controllers will work with it. Those are just 2 that I've had on my desk that I could test.
And when you first introduced the cameras, you said entry level, but it's entry level for Grass Valley. These are really actually phenomenal broadcast ready, event space ready cameras that you could be using in a venue that's beyond the church. You could be using it in a concert hall. You could be using it for board meetings in a government situation or a corporate, boardroom in a Fortune 500 company. I mean, they're that good. They're that fantastic.
They're the entry of Grass of getting into PTZ. That is their entry game. They're going to come out with more. When I got this camera, I had 3 other cameras in my office, lit them all up. I was blown away with the quality on this camera right out of the box. Great quality, and it's very much up there in a niche space on its own. So it is a high-end camera.
Cool. So now we're going to roll the video?
Yeah.
Let's roll the video about the Grass Valley production packs for House of Worship.
It was very important to us that we identified a partner that we could lean on. Grass Valley committed to a partnership with us, really played to an attitude of understanding what our real needs are and helping us try to find a solution.
And what GVPace provides is a comprehensive set of workflow tools that reduce the operational mistakes, increase efficiency by leveraging equipment you already have in place.
Very happy with how Grass Valley came alongside of us as a technology partner to really figure out how do we want to use this gear in our particular situation.
Cool, and that is just a 30-second clip. I think the full video is almost 2 minutes long, so if you want to watch that video, it's available on our website and on the Grass Valley and on the product pages for these particular products. Now, I want to get into these bundles now, Glenn, and I'm going to really turn it over to you, because not only was Glenn a big part of us for our company testing and evaluating this stuff, Glenn was actually on the committee of people working with Grass Valley to really pick what was going to go into these bundles, make sure it's working. I think you've almost been like a assistant product manager to Grass Valley. So I'm going to roll it right over to you. You're going to start with the Kula 1ME PTZ multi-camera pack, and you just tell me when I should advance the slides at this point.
Sure. So, everything is based off of the Kula, and as Gary said, this is a hardware-based switcher. So this is, on the back of that, you've got, depending upon the configuration, you can go with, different inputs, different outputs. You've got the control panel. So, in this particular case, the Kula 1ME switcher, this comes with 3 of the PTZ cameras. It comes with a Kula 1ME, and I got to tell you, we don't have the slide in here that talks about it, but the 1ME in the Kula is super powerful. You can do 6 picture-in-pictures with it, a background and a key, and then 4 DSKs. So you can do a lot with that. So it's a very powerful.
So Glenn, I want to interrupt you for a second. I know you don't have the slide that I've seen you do when you're doing demos for people, but the important thing to understand here is they say 1ME because it's the nomenclature that Grass Valley uses in the broadcast world. But typically with a lot of the products we sell have 3 or 4 MEs, because you need those MEs to create, even like the example of what we're doing in our show right here. You could do this whole thing on a 1ME in a Kula, but we're using multiple MEs to do it, in our in-house system. So just don't let that 1ME scare you at all. This thing could do a very, very elaborate, multi-layered with graphics and multiple picture-in-pictures and multiple videos playing all at the same time.
Right. The way I describe it to people is there's really 2 reasons you want multiple MEs. One is if I'm producing 2 different shows. So if I'm doing something where, I'm switching and streaming a live show, but I'm also providing the graphics for the monitors behind the presenter, that I might need a second ME for, depending on what I'm doing. The neat thing is within the Kula, depending on what I'm doing, I can actually turn it off and off for different displays, whether I want graphics, whether I want overlay. So even though it's not truly an ME, there are ways of still getting another couple different displays out of this. The other reason you want MEs is for building, complex layered effects. And a lot of systems out there, you need to create one ME and then feed that ME back into another one to get that. So if you're trying to do 6 layers of things, it's like, okay, I'm going to build 2 layers in this ME, another 2 layers in this ME, and then combine those into a third ME, and I've got my 6 layers. You can do that all in a single ME. Very, very powerful behind this. So again, super powerful MEs. The Kula 1ME has 18 inputs, 6 outs, and then you've got 6 bi-directional. So you can do a combination of things. So you could have 24 in and 6 out, or 20 out or 20 in and 10 out. Any combination of those.
I want to talk about those outputs a little bit, because that's real important for House of Worship, because House of Worship typically wants to go IMAG, which is where they're putting some of the cameras up on other screens throughout the venue. You need perfect sync, you need it to look right, and you need the different outputs for what those screens are doing in your particular House of Worship, how you're gonna set up. So we sell a lot of systems that have 1 or 2 outputs, and IMAG becomes a challenge at times, especially with some of the NDI stuff, where I love NDI, but for IMAG, your latency can become an issue. It's not an issue with these products at all. They're designed to do IMAG as well as output for streaming. Now, this product doesn't do streaming, but we actually have other gear we recommend that you can put with it to do your live stream. It's really designed for live production and IMAG, and then we can stream also, but you could take one particular output just to be your streaming output that can have some level of graphics, not all level of graphics, or some level of video, not all. So that's really cool. There's another thing that this product has that I think we need to explain to our viewers, because as a video guys customer, I've never heard of anything. What is a Format Fusion 3 engine, and why do I need 4 of them?
Yeah, so Format Fusion basically allows you to, it is frame rate, frame sync. It is basically going to allow you to manipulate things. So maybe you've got everything's 1080 coming in your system, but somebody's got a 720p camera. Well, you plug that in, you run it through Format Fusion. Format Fusion in real time makes that a 1080p camera. Or maybe everything you're doing is 1080, but you've got to deliver 720. So Format Fusion is just, it's got color correction, it's got a lot of controls over it, but it is really designed to just make sure that everything coming into the system is coming into that same base format for you, or going out to the format. So it's really, it is a frame synchronizer, time synchronizer, format converter. It's really got a lot of power behind it.
Cool. Now, the next thing in the package is Swift Graphics. Now, I know in House of Worship, a lot of people use Pro Presenter, and I get that, and you still can. But I like the Swift Graphics engine just because it integrates a little bit more tightly with the GV and the pace that's coming. And I think it's for House of Worship, yeah, you might have some other choices, but corporate video, sports video, and stuff like that, the Swift Graphic package really is a much more elaborate package than just using something like Pro Presenter, which I love and I recommend highly for Houses of Worship.
No, and I agree. I mean, nobody's going to buy this for the graphics package, but it's nice to have a graphics package included, and it works with there's a tool to get anything from any other graphics package into the Grass Valley. So a lot of flexibility there. The last thing is the GV pace, and I don't want to drive on this too much. GV pace, I'm going to give you a little bit demo of. This is the game changer, and when we get to GV Pace, we'll really talk about GV Pace is their automation system. This comes from the high end. I've got a few things I want to show on that, so I'll show that in a little bit. Yeah. But basically, this is the 1ME bundle. So if somebody's just looking for lots of inputs, that hardware-based switcher, which is what Gary mentioned, that's what gives you that ability to do that iMag with, I don't know if I froze or not.
We hear you. Keep talking.
Okay. It gives you that iMag capability with zero latency because it's a hardware switcher. It's not going through any software, and that's the big thing. Remember, there's no real true software driving this. Everything is automated through the panel. There's a touch screen that you can work with. You can use it with a keyboard or mouse, or you can drive it off of a touch screen. From here, we'll move to the beauty.
Well, before we do that, what I want to stress is we've got a nice picture up here. Can we bring that picture up full screen for a second? There are a couple of things that aren't included. The laptop is not part of this. You need a laptop, and that touchscreen is also something that you'd be adding on your own. So, but you are getting the cooler with the cooler rack and the 3 PTZ cameras. You're getting the Swift Graphics software, and you're getting the GV Pace automation software. So now the next bundle is a little bit more expensive. That's the AV one. Add some audio stuff. So why don't you tell us a little bit of what makes that package worth a little bit more? I see it's got more I/O. I see it's got an incredible audio mixer, and I see it's got more of those Format Fusion 3 engines. So talk about that next bundle a little bit.
So the first bundle is really designed for folks that already have an existing audio infrastructure, and they're going to do all of their audio work, and then send that into the system or stream that or do whatever. So this is for folks that want to start bringing audio into the system. So you now have an AES EBU connection. You've got audio inputs into it. You've got the external audio mixer that you can use to control audio levels. You get more video inputs, and of course, because you now got those multiple more video inputs, they're giving you more Format Fusion engines, so you could actually deal with more, just in case you're bringing in more odd formats. Still has that same Swift graphics. Everything else is the same with it. It's just really that frame, which is that box underneath there, that just changes, and that gives you all that additional power.
Hear you fine, but your image is frozen, and I know we're going to get into this. Is going to be a demo pretty soon, but now let's get into the Kula UHD PTZ multi-cat pack, which now adds 4K UHD capabilities.
Yep. Well, just for the reference, the feedback, the feed coming from you guys is frozen as well, so I don't know what's going on. So the UHD package, I like to talk about this in a couple of different ways. The cameras are 4K, so you do have 4K cameras. The only way you can get 4K out of them is through HDMI, so you can't plug these directly into the Kula and be 4K. You'd have to go through a converter to bring it in. Not a big deal. But I like to talk about it being the fact that, first off, this is a 4K ready system. It is also a 3ME HD system. So if you just want to run this as an HD system, now you've got those 3ME. So now if it is a case of, hey, I need to produce, not only, the show that I'm showing, in the lobby or that I'm streaming, but I need to, have a video output that's going to be just the priest and the graphic overlay or different images. Now you've got that additional ME capability, some different IO capabilities in this box, but it depends on what you want to do. Whether you want to go 4K, you have that option, or you can use it as an HD system only, and then know that, hey, if I ever get a 4K opportunity, I can just throw some converters in here and I can do 4K.
Awesome. So now we're going to go a little bit more into the Kula production switcher itself. We can bring that up full screen, and you can talk about that.
Yeah, so I am not seeing what you guys are seeing. I'm flying completely blind here.
The coolest switcher. If we could just talk about the switcher a little bit. That's the heart and soul of the bundle.
So the cooler switcher is really, you've got a panel that's laid out very well, actually, I have the slides, don't I? But you have a camera that's laid out very logically. You've got, your main banks, you've got your ME banks, you've got your PTZ controller in the upper right-hand corner. So a very logical switcher. But the thing I really want to talk about this is, this is great if you come from that switching background. This is great if you know and are comfortable in those environments. But for me, it's really the pace is the secret sauce to this. And I really need to see what you guys are seeing.
Demo video that you can roll. What I am going to say is that can we reboot the Teams call with Glenn and see if we can bring him in with video, and you can put this camera on me and I'll just talk a little bit about Grass Valley and what we think about this and see if we can get it going. All right, so Adam's going to reboot the Teams server to try to get Glenn back in. We apologize for that. Every now and then you just have some problems that happen in the world of internet, bringing in live remote guests, and we're running into one of those today, so I apologize. But I really want to talk about my impression of GV Pace when I first heard about this product, because one of the things when you're doing House of Worship that we all know is that often you're a volunteer-based system. That means that you don't have professional engineers. You don't have professionals to work the show. When it's Sunday and it's showtime, you're taking whoever can help you and do it. Well, one of the great things about Pace is one knowledgeable person can design the whole show for Pace automation, where literally it's color-coded buttons that you go down through your cut sheet, through your whole sheet, where you can produce your whole show, and you can actually automate Pace to the point that it's controlling the cameras for where they need to be and what your shots need to be and what graphics are coming in. So you can literally have a volunteer operating the show with minimal training. This is so important in House of Worship. I think it's also really great when you're looking at doing something in a school situation where you're going to be a school. Say you're a high school or a college program. Well, you can have your more advanced students creating the Pace shows for people, and then you can have your newbies, your freshmen in the beginning of the year, using the Pace to actually do the show themselves, and then towards the end of the year they can learn how to do the actual switching and some of the other stuff that's going on. So you can actually start your school year with some really great shows. You don't have to degrade the quality, the production quality of your show just because the new students are learning how to do it. So I think that's a really great feature. And Pace automation, as Glenn said before, is a secret sauce. This is an automation tool that has been used by the networks when they produce the Olympics, when they produce the Super Bowl, when they're producing big events like the Academy Awards or the Emmys or other shows like that. Now, none of those shows aren't always every time produced on Grass Valley equipment, but it's a usual chance that it is a lot of the time. And they really do a great job with their stuff. And I'm going to hope now that we maybe have Glenn back up. Do we have him so he can roll his Pace video? All right, so it's us who's having the network issues today. Yeah. So that also could mean that there's a good chance that our streams going out are problematic as well. So let's hope for the best. And what we'll do is Glenn, we're gonna have to cut in that Pace video when we come back and do some post-production on this show. So I apologize for that. Now, I'm gonna switch gears now, and we're gonna go to the D2, D3 for local schools, the sports pack, which I believe, Adam, you can run that video here, correct?
We wanted to make sure that the solution that we put into the new control room would be robust, something that would, didn't keep us up at nights, if you will.
Hey, we've got potentially this great deal with Grass Valley where we can partner with Grass Valley and they can provide sort of a comprehensive solution. We sort of had in our minds the certain types of equipment that we thought we'd go with.
We're very happy to invest in cameras and routers and mixers, etc. from the Grass Valley Group.
The Live Touch panel provides an intuitive, clean interface that's accessible to any operator.
Replay pack, which I'm really excited about. What you're talking about with this package is this package includes 3 Grass Valley LDX82 World Cams. These are top of the line broadcast professional. They're not the top of the line broadcast, but these are broadcast level cameras. These are the cameras that are being used on the sidelines for events like the Super Bowl, the Olympics, things like that you're watching live all the time. You're going to get the Kula 2ME switcher. You can get the Live Touch Instant Replay System, which is a phenomenal instant replay system being used by sports leagues across the globe, everywhere that you know. You know, one of the things that I'm a big Islander fan, and I understand that the Islanders' new arena will have a Grass Valley system in it, including the in-house, the Live Touch replay system for when they do their in-house replays, you know, within the system. I believe the same thing's going to be in the new Seattle Krakens, is going to be Grass Valley too. We're so excited that these products are now coming down to a level that I think is, you know, incredibly affordable for a school. And guys, I get it. At $179,000, this package is in for everyone. But remember, you're getting 3 broadcast level cameras, which high frame rates, which is so important for instant replay. You're getting a Live Touch instant replay system. You're getting the Swift graphics, and you're getting a cooler 2ME switcher. So if you're a D2, a D3, a big high school program looking to upgrade everything you're doing, this is a great way to upgrade your live production. And once again, we have bundles with encoders and other monitor recorders for you to put together with this to add to it if you need to also do live streaming from the same system and the like. So a very exciting system. One of the big things we want to stress here is that we know these systems are what I'm going to call above the video guy's pay grade. And what I mean by that is if you don't have technicians on staff and trained people who really know what this stuff is doing, you're going to want to buy it from a local dealer. Someone who can come in, spec it out with you, set it up, train you, troubleshoot with you, help you get going. So that's why we've added something very cool to the Video Guys website, and that is we actually have a lead form there where you can go to the Grass Valley page on our website and you can actually fill out a form, and we will then take that form with us. We will go back to the folks at Grass Valley, and we will find a dealer in your area who can give you that kind of attention and one-on-one and extra service and support that you need to make sure it's the right decision, to make sure it's the right product for you, and to make sure it's spec'd in correctly. Because while these kits that we're showing you are all pre-configured, you can actually get access to all of the Grass Valley products that are out there around these products, different cameras and stuff like that. But that's going to happen through a local authorized dealer who we're going to put you in touch with, and we're going to help make sure that you get covered with that. So please, by all means, if you're a house of worship, a D2, D3 big high school looking to get into a more elaborate live production system, go to the Video Guys website, click on the local dealer and schedule a demo, and we'll get you going with that kind of stuff. There's the videos on there. It's a really great page. Kudos to the Video Guys web team for adding that. I think it's real exciting. And once again, you know, if it's something that you're saying, we have the experts on here, we know how to do this, we've got a guy who can install it and stuff like that, we're confident with it, give us a call. We'll put Glenn on the phone and he'll make sure and vet it and all that. If that's okay, you know, maybe we'll fill the bid out, maybe we won't. But the main thing here is that, you know, we have a network of dealers across the country who can help you and work with you on that. Okay, so I want to thank everyone for watching. Are we able to bring Glenn back in, or I'm going to wrap it? Okay, Glenn, I'm sorry we lost you. We're going to cut in the pace video you put together and we come back on it later. Thanks for watching. We're really excited. You know, live stuff happens live sometimes. I hope I held up the show well enough, but we have a local dealer. You can call us at 800-323-2325. We'll put you to the local Grass Valley dealers. We want to thank you for watching. As always, you know, watch us on YouTube, Facebook, like us, give us the love, help share the love. We've done some stuff that have optimized our pre-show scheduling a little bit, so we're getting a little bit more viewers out there. We're getting more viewers, so we appreciate that a lot. And I'll be back next week with another show. This is Gary from Video Guys. Peace.
Thank you for watching this week's Video Guys live webinar. We go live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time to our Facebook and YouTube pages with the latest news on live streaming, video editing, and video storage technology. Join us next week for a great webinar on the brand new YOLO Box Pro. Video Guys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.